Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Event Tech World Digital Demo Drop-In. Now, this is all about having you guys find out more about modern registration. So there was a lot of requests earlier in the year from Event Tech World members to know how to make this easier for their attendees. So it's brilliant to have you with us, and let's get started by saying how you are, who you are, and where you are. So pop into the chat, which you'll find the chat button underneath the screen that you can see me in, and just tell us where in the world that you're joining from. And then once you've done that, click over and give us an emoji and tell us how you're feeling. Tell us what your vibe is today. Are you feeling the love? Are you going to give us a thumbs up? How are you feeling? And hi, Tim, we've got you here joined us, which is awesome. This is a perfect note then. I will invite all of our demo leaders for today to join us with their cameras on to get a quick intro because we have got an awesome group lined up for you today. We have in this order Lee Jack, who is the Chief Revenue Officer at Crowdcoms. Lee will be followed by Lorene Ribeiro, who is from Eventify and is a sales and marketing guru. Next up on the list will be Tim Groot, who is the founder of Grip. And last but definitely not least will be Eleanor Martin, who is co-founder and vice president of customer success from Canopy. So we've got some good variety today. I'm going to ask all of the demo leaders to flip their cameras off again now, and I will call them up when they get their 12-minute slot. So throughout the session, please use the chat. Please use the Q&A because we will try to get a question or two over to all of our demo leaders just towards the end of their session, their brief demo. But if they can't get there because they haven't quite got time, then they will all answer these in written format afterwards and I will circulate them around to you. So I think we're ready to get started. Stay engaged. Use the engagement tools available to you, and the more you participate, the more you're going to get out of this session. And let's make this another great one for Event Tech World. So first up, Lee from Crowdcoms, could you flick on your camera and your audio? I am going to flip mine off and hand over the mic to you, and let's hear all about how you guys are doing registration brilliantly at Crowdcoms.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Vanessa. I'm going to share my screen here. So I share, I've got a bit of a strange over the shoulder look and feel. So hopefully that's okay for everyone watching. So quick introduction. I'm Lee, Chief Revenue Officer at Crowdcoms, been with the organization since 2015. More importantly, who Crowdcoms are, we've been around since 2011. We are, as you'd guess, event technology provider. We do registration, which is going to be very much the focus for this 12 minutes. So I'm going to try and keep it succinct. But we also do event apps, virtual hybrid platform, through to on-site badging and lead capture and attendance tracking. We either can support clients with all of that software, or we fit into your requirements, focusing just on registration or one of the other elements. We do work with a relatively broad client base. Agencies, associations, global brands, some of our corporate clients. And with that, there's a bit of a range of the event types that we support. So we've got a very flexible offering. What I'm going to focus on this session is registration for an annual conference, annual congress, which our platform lends it to really well. So on that note, I'm going to start at the beginning and show you some of the customization side of things. So
Lee, I'm going to be really annoying and just interrupt you briefly. Is it possible? That's a bit better. Yes, I was just trying to get a nice big view of your screen, and it's a little bit better now. So thank you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't do anything.
Oh, well, whatever you did worked. Sorry, back to you. I interrupted your flow.
Even better. Well, I didn't change anything. So you need anything else, Vanessa, just shout. So in terms of our platform, what we do, I'm a little bit biased, but what we do very well is the level of customization, the level of personalization that our platform offers. So that goes from the very first piece of communication. So your first invitation email, fully branded, showcase sponsors, you build out the content around your requirements. You can have a multi-stage email promotion strategy, post event to keep people engaged. And then if you are promoting other aspects of the event, whether it's certain activities, it's an app, it's a virtual hybrid platform, getting feedback post-event, you can leverage the inbuilt email marketing system, which enables you, again, full control over personalized comms to different groups. Once they've received that invitation, or you've got an external promotion to people you haven't got in your database, they are going to land on a fully branded registration website. So I'm going to show two examples here. Vision Day, which is a light themed registration, and then our Prism Conference, which is a darker themed registration with a bit of animation. I always like to show these two because they really give you an idea on the level of customization available at CrowdComms. So when you've got a particular client that you're working with or a customer launch, the ability to replicate the brand, the ability to personalize the user experience, elevate that experience so that it's really tailored to their requirements is something we really focus on. Going back to the Vision example, I'll just give you a bit of a walk through the event website first. So all of the content customized to your requirements. You've got templates you can start from. You can build it from scratch. Once you've got it spot on for the first event, we can duplicate it for all your future ones. So it's nice and easy to do at scale. You're building a white label platform, but by no means do you need to be a coder. This is drag and drop controls, changing the size, changing the fonts, all included within the default options, and then service and support to make sure you've got the help you need, even though it is intuitive. Video content, countdown timers, information about the events, what the sessions are, again, referencing the sponsors, making sure they get exposure from the first email, the landing page, every stage of that event onboarding journey, and then our speakers. So all of this can be taken away, other sections added in. Nice photo gallery here. I'll do this as a little side drop in about our on-site badging, so we can do the on-site delivery there as well. All of the home screen customizable. Then you've got your secondary content pages. Typical ones we see are agenda, speakers, sponsors, FAQs, but any of these can be taken away. Additional ones can be added on, and it is incredibly easy to build these in and make them look absolutely perfect for your particular requirements. The real aim of those promotion emails, the event website, is to generate interest, get people excited about attending your event. So that's why we want to make it look brilliant. We want to showcase the most exciting, impactful content, and then we want really clear call to actions to get people to register. When you come through to the registration form, comprehensive options available, fully customized around your requirements. Got about 20 different question types. We've got pathways. So Vanessa's a VIP. She logs in and she sees certain questions. I'm a lowly whatever I am, and I see a slightly different experience. So that's the other big part. Customization, personalization to make sure that they feel special and we're not wasting their time. We're only capturing the data that we need to make it an impactful experience for that particular person registering on our system. So I've got a couple of my details already logged in, go through my pronouns, put my job title and company. We've got in this particular demo different pathways built in based on the option that I choose. So if I go for conference, I see some logic. We've got unlimited levels of logic. So you say yes here, you get different questions, you answer in a particular way, you can keep going down. So we've got multiple levels of logic to really drill down into that information that you need to deliver your seamless event. You'll see here I've got a couple of ticket types to attend the event, payments included, discount codes. You can build up discount codes for different groups, include it in your promotion plan, have early bird discounts. We integrate with a number of payment providers, Stripe, Square, Authorize.net. So lots of options to choose from. And then crucially, once you're getting all of this data, it can go into that event app on-site badging or straight back into your CRM. So whether Salesforce, HubSpot, Marketo, Dynamics, we've got integrations with each of these. If I scroll through and just show you some of the other options, getting people's preferences goes back to that personalization. What we want to do is capture data at registration which allows me to communicate effectively with that person and build a personalized experience throughout their journey. So I might be leveraging this information to support with matchmaking at the event. So they get recommended who they might meet with, whether it's a sponsor, meet with Crowdcoms because you've shown interest in event technology, or an attendee because you've got similar interests. Are they attending in person? I've got various questions which show. If it goes online, it's got different questions which show, and also different formats and branding on how we can display this content. Session selection, all included. If you've got any merchandise or anything like that, but you can cover it. So it can be, let's go with some date options as well. You can put in dates to capture passport information, when they're arriving. All of that crucial information can be captured at registration stage. This is quite a long registration form, so it's indicative of one of the more larger conferences where you've got people arriving from lots of different places, but you can keep it really simple. So if I go quick register and remove that, I've got just one other question to answer, and then I can go through and review my responses.
Lee,
Short story is,
Lee, I'm giving you a heads up. You've got 3 minutes and a couple of questions, just so you
three
know.
minutes ago. I'll do a 1 minute wrap up and then questions if that's okay.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So 1 minute wrap up is, you can make it much simpler. I want to show you the full depth of comprehensiveness of our platform. Keep it simple, go through to register, add my guests if I need to do so. If I'll just show this last page, preview my responses, submit my registration, and then I get a landing page which gives me some really nice controls. So download the app, add to calendar, edit my registration, and then view my responses along the bottom. So you, once again, Crowdcom's theme, drag and drop builder, customize, show the information that's relevant to you with a high degree of customization and personalization. Vanessa, questions?
Superstar. Well done. Well done. I know it's the time pressure is on here.
Oh, it's
So we've got
on.
two.
Go on.
First is from a fellow Vanessa, which doesn't happen very often. And this is actually in the chat, Lee, so you'll be able to see it as well if you hit the chat button, which is across platform demos, would love to hear about guest and or group registration and session management. So that's something for our future demo leaders as well to maybe consider addressing. For you, Lee, Vanessa says she sees that you can get more than one ticket. So how does this lend itself to agendas and badging? What other things do you need to factor in for that?
So you can do it you can choose what tickets are multi-ticket select. So for example, for the overarching event, you might allow people to choose multiple tickets. I'm registering Vanessa and Matt, our CEO. But then for a particular session, I might only be able to do single selection. So it's that customization that you build out based on the question type. Hopefully that's a reasonable answer for that one. We can pick it up separately as well.
Great, thank you. And then there's another question from Martin, which is regarding a Stripe integration. Do you support embedded Stripe elements so that you can leverage the full Stripe payment options, bank transfers, ACH, and so on?
Short answer, yes. We've got full transaction reporting in the CMS, and then some financial reporting improvements coming to that as part of a release later this month. So it's quite an exciting time. But yeah, short answer, yes.
Great. And just because you have got a tiny bit more time, one more question from Winnie, which is about the group registration again, which is, can the lead attendee share a link so each individual can fill in relevant information about themselves?
Good question. I don't want to answer incorrectly, so I am going to take it away. But my understanding is then you can either copy your responses or you can change it for them. But it has to either be done by them, and then they will have the option to edit their registration. So you could copy it, then allow them to edit it afterwards. Vanessa, taking up too much time now, aren't I?
You're done. You're done. You're released. You're free. Lee, thank you so much. You are free to turn off your camera and audio. Thank you so much. And we're going to move on to our next demo of the drop-in session. So Laureen from Eventify, welcome. It's great to have you here as well. And this is where I hand the microphone over to you and I will switch off my camera and audio.
Thank you very much for having me, Vanessa. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just allow me a moment, not to waste any time. Oh, sorry. Okay,
We've
so
got
I'm
it.
Lorraine.
Looks good.
Thank you. I'm Lorraine from Eventify. I'm a sales executive. I'm here today as well to talk a little bit about Eventify, what we are, what we do for all of the event organizers and for all of the events out there. Eventify is obviously an end-to-end event management software. It does not only do registration, it can go straight from start to finish from your event, from registration to even collecting the data at the end of the day. After the post-event, for example, surveys, all of the data in terms of check-in. Today, I'm obviously going to focus on the pre-event part of the registration, which is one of the most important parts, and as well where most of the attendees also gather some opinions in either if the event is going or starting even well. In terms of the registration, Eventify offers you very flexible plans as well, specific just for events that don't really need an event application and all of the engagement and matchmaking features that people can then have at the venue, but specifically for registration. There, everything that's included is 4 types of registration, a landing page, and as well methods to export all of that data at the end of the day. The two one that are inbuilt straight from Eventify is ticketing and registration forms. They're very similar, but particular as ticketing obviously collects a payment at the end of the day, and registration is when the event is free. In terms talking about the ticketing specifically, here's where you can create obviously the ticket for the event in different tiers, for example, VIP, early bird, with different sales time, with different discounts, with different tax appliances, and as well currencies. And we accept online payments that we have an integration with Stripe Payment Gateway, and offline payments as well for sometimes some countries or even certain kinds of event that cannot fully use Stripe. We have something really good with our ticketing that Eventify prides a lot, which is the fixed fee. So we know that in other places, we play a lot with the percentage based on the ticket price. Eventify has a fixed fee of $1 per paid ticket, regardless of the price of the ticket. And then, of course, the Stripe fee if the ticketing will be used onto an online payment as well. That usually is 2.9 based on the ticketing, but we also are very informative into giving you all of the balances and how the things are working, how much the profit will be to you as an event organizer, and as well if you want to pass on those fees to the attendee when they're selecting their tickets. It's flexible specifically onto tickets, so you can do a 50-50 balance depending as well sometimes on budgets that we might have as well. On ticketing, other things that you can do is the promo discounts, expiry options, and as well embed the ticketing page directly into your website. Back, I talked about the landing page. Eventify offers the landing page and as well a website builder that you can construct your own website if you don't already have one, or if you want to create a brand new one for your event, or sometimes for events that already have their own website. And this will lead me talking to our niche. We can embed the registration forms, the ticketing directly into your own website. So everything is all connected and all in one. Talking a little bit more specific about what Eventify is for the target of Eventify is specifically, obviously B2B, but conferences and exhibitions. And this goes a little bit along the way of what else Eventify offers in terms of the application, with the exhibitors, with the sponsors, the lead scanning, and so on, that everything will then become one at the end of the day. Going to other methods of registration, we also have the registration forms, which is the free version where you obviously create the registration form, the information that you want to collect from your attendees. And you can also separate those forms into the specific groups of attendees that you might have onto your event, if it's VIPs, if it's exhibitors, sponsors, because of course, many times we will not want to collect the same information for all of the attendees. All of the information that we collect from the forms and from ticketing will then be part of the database of Eventify's platform of the back end that then will lead us to the badge printing, where, of course, Eventify has a whole software for the badge printing on-site and off-site, the most famous one being the on-site that was almost all of us want at an event is also to show that flexibility and to show a sleek and modern platform that they use already in registration. Onto the badge printing, you also have the designer where you can create your badges automatically in there exactly how you want in terms of design and positioning, and of course with the variables that then will come from the forms that your attendees have filled before. Then here, of course, you can also connect it to the user groups. So you don't have to be confused in terms of, I'm going to scan my QR code and what badge will come if I have 5 different badges. If I bought a ticket or register as a VIP, that's automatically what I'm going to get. And then, of course, lead on to other features that Eventify can offer, like the lead scanning later on, the matchmaking and the connection that the QR code that Eventify generates upon each registration or ticket that you sell. Eventify will generate a QR code for that person, and that's the same QR code that each attendee will use for the remaining of the event, even if it's 1 day or 2 days or even a week. So that's something that's quite good as well, because sometimes we use multiple and everyone gets confused. So that keeps all into the same place. In terms of the check-in process, this is sometimes a headache for most of us that organizing events. It's, I have a conference with 1,000 people, on-site check-in, printing badges. How is that going to go? What can I do to make everything to go smoothly and quick? So upload the attendee list. So that's the other 2 methods that we have at Eventify outside of the ones that are built in, which is the external registration and the upload attendee list. What are they used for? Sometimes we use the external registration when I have something very secure, something that the team is quite comfortable with, or sometimes it's even registration at our own website that we've built many years ago, but you don't want to let it go. That's all right. We don't need to change everything to still have a sleek process and a smooth experience at the event. So we can connect our own registration in terms of connecting all of that data to your own website, and then everything will be automatically connected, and you will still have the data the same way that you would have if you were using Eventify's platform. Upload the attendee list is basically that part without that connection where you simply export and import into Eventify. The upload of the attendee list is most commonly used for smaller events, which Eventify does a lot of those, specifically internal meetings, something within the company that the audience is already pre-established and we know already who's going, so we don't need to go through the whole process of doing a brand new registration. Then after having the whole attendee list completed and done, it's the check-in part. So badges are created and ready to go, and then you need to do that calculation on, am I going to have 1 printer? Am I going to have 2 or 3? With Eventify, there's no limitation. You can have as many as you want as long as the software is logged in there and downloaded onto the software. You can do it all at the same time. People scanning like 5, 6, doesn't really matter. And then as soon as they scan, the badge will come up and then they print and it's good to go. And this can also be with the help of a staff, mostly, usually we have it like this, or even selfless, where you can put the kiosk mode on with the scanner on. We just scan the QR codes and get the badge the same way. So sometimes it's also good to save some staff members that will be helpful in other places of the venue itself. KR's done, and then all of the attendee data will be collected. And when I mean attendee data is if that person checked in, at what time, at what day, and this is also really good to have the entry of that event, and if the event is for more than 1 day, to see exactly like what was the peak day in a 3-day event, what was the lowest, and have all of that data later on. That then, of course, we can do the needful. In terms of attendee journey, I'm talking here today about a very small but big part of Eventify, which is the registration. We offer a lot more, specifically if you're using the registration already with us, that then it's really just one step to go into the application where, of course, we can. Vanessa?
You've got 2.5 minutes and you've got 3 questions.
Thank you. Just wrapping up this part, as I was saying, it's the registration, but of course, I recommend mostly it's using the all-in-one together because it's sometimes a nightmare having 6 to 10 tabs open and trying to connect all in one. With Eventify, you can have from the registration to the post survey and even grab the data from one event into a plan with multiple events and do the whole comparison at the end. With sometimes we have two conferences and an exhibition and a summit, so it's just a plus to use Eventify for all of the events that you have specifically for registration.
Wondering, thank you. Sorry to put the pressure on with the timing. Um, First question from Maddie, which is how long does it take for the badge to print after attendees scan their QR code?
So that question does not really, it's a really good question because we need to know that, but it's more on the part of the printer in the connection of the whole venue itself. So it does not really depend on Eventify. What I say most of the time to clients of mine that use the badge printing feature is to have a hotspot or a Wi-Fi connection that it's theirs and they are fully reliable there instead of we know using the free Wi-Fi at the venue that sometimes can be very unreliable. So making sure that the hotspot they're using it's trustworthy and then it's really 1-2 seconds and it's good to go.
Brilliant, thank you. Or a hardwire, even better. And then two more questions. Can you do ad hoc discount codes that can provide a percentage amount off rather than a fixed amount? So perhaps being able to issue a 14% discount code midway through the registration cycle, for example.
I believe so. I don't want to say yes or no because I need obviously to check that with the team. That would be a nice question as well to take into a meeting and talk specifically about that. I would say so, but I want just to double check with the team.
That would be great. And then last one for now, which is a specific example. We use dynamics and delegate comms, excuse me. For example, registration confirmations are tracked through there, whether people have opened them or not. So can that work when using, oh, sorry, that's the timer, when using your system, or would it need to be sent using Eventify software specifically? So those reminder messages that people have signed up for an event.
You can obviously send through Eventify, but we don't have that tracker part of if the person opened it or not. That's something that we're still trying to achieve, and it's a little bit complicated sometimes. It's something that if the client of course has a platform, we can obviously look into an API integration. So just to put the two together and still accomplish that part.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Lorraine, you are done. Tim, could you come on? And just to make sure everyone is awake here, can I ask everyone to find the react button below the screen and just give us some kind of emoji, whatever it might be. Give us something, show us you're alive, re-engage if you've zoned out and started doing your emails. Hurrah! You're back with us. Okay, Tim, the floor is yours.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Tim. I am the founder and CEO of Grip. Can everybody see my screen okay? You see a couple of slides?
Yeah, we've got you.
So perfect. All right, good stuff.
So we can't see slides actually, Tim. We can just see links to slides.
Okay.
Just rejoin you briefly. Yes, we got
Can
you
you see
now.
now? Perfect. All right, I've got 4 slides and then we'll jump straight in. So so Grip is we're an AI-powered event platform for engagement, and I started a company 10 years ago, and we've powered over 5,000 events, 15,000 event participants, and are particularly good at booking meetings at those events. And so we work with many of the leading trade show and conference organizers across the world. So we work with 12 out of 20 of the largest trade show organizers, and particularly in the complex space where our managed solution is used. We've been making really good progress. So what we're going to be talking about today is Grip Manage. Now, Manage is our registration and exhibitor management solution. What we're most well known for is our Engage solution, which includes our event app, meeting scheduling, must meet, and hosted buyer solutions. And then where some of the people have already mentioned, on site for us in terms of batch printing sits separately. So we kind of have 3 modules: Manage, Engage, on site. You can purchase any of them separately. So if you just wanted to use Grip for our Engage product, which is used by close to 1,000 events a year now, you can do so. If you want to just use manage, you can do so. Or if you can just want to use on site, you can do so. Or you can use them together in any way, shape, or form. So there's a lot of flexibility on how you can use these modular blocks, either together or separate. So that's it. Let's jump straight into a demo. So here you can now see my registration form. I've set up a nice dark theme registration form for just a EventTech Connect event. And I've also set up a little coupon here, which is automatically assigned for EventTech World Demo. Now, we really are not a registration system that I ever want, well, that I expect to be used by, let's say, 100-person roundtable meetup thingy by a corporate. We are very, very focused as a registration system in making you money as a commercial organizer. We are focused on making sure you've got the best, most optimized registration form that gets people to buy tickets. That's the goal. The more tickets they buy, the faster they do it, the more streamlined it is. That's what we are very focused on. And next to that, we've got something very special, which is what we call submission forms, where you can use, for example, for your VIPs or other kind of submission flows. We do this for a whole range of events already. So we've got events like Manifest, which was just acquired by Hive, that uses us for registration. We've got HumanX, which I just put a case study into the chat here, which uses us for various parts, including our smart badge solution. And so, yeah, we're really focused on these convex events that are focused on generating revenue from registration while also having a sort of hosted buyer VIP meeting program at their events. So what I can do here is I can immediately go for the me and others flow, which means that I'm buying actually 3 passes across 2 different ticket types. I saw there was a question earlier that came up, so I just wanted to kind of take that off immediately. That is something that we provide. Now what I can do here is I can just go ahead and put in my details. I can go through the registration form. Of course, some questions can be required, some can be optional, and all of that stuff. So all of that kind of works. So that's a really seamless experience. And you can have conditional questions and all of these other kind of things that you would expect. Now from here, I can immediately go and either skip to the order summary, or I can go to the next entity. So if I'm buying 3 passes, I could start providing the details of these other 2 passes, or I can just skip straight to the order summary and boom, go ahead and purchase 2 unassigned passes. Now, the great thing about that is that you can purchase those already now and then assign them later. So I can go here to payment. I can put in my payment details, make a little bit of extra money by buying myself a ticket for my own company. Perfect. And I can go, boom, complete payment. And we have bought 3 tickets and brought in some extra revenue. Now, out of the box, Grip integrates with GleanIn, Ingo, Snowball, and Premagic. Yeah. So all 3 or 4 of those companies, you can use them for the kind of social sharing, outreach, and all of that is integrated out of the box and just works seamlessly with our registration solution. You can see here that I've now bought those different passes. I can go ahead and view the pass. So this is the fast pass that can be used immediately on site for the QR code to show up and then print the badge. But I can also go ahead and assign a pass to one of my colleagues, for example. I will have received an email that I can now use as the order confirmation that takes me back to this page, that I can then use at any moment in the future to assign a pass to somebody else. I can provide these details. So as long as I put in the required fields, it will go to whoever I'm assigning this pass to, and they will then be asked about the other questions, right? The demographics questions can all be answered by that person outside of me having to do that. I don't know if there are any questions so far. Let me see. No, not yet. Okay. Then let's continue. So the other thing that we do quite well around this is the flexibility on how you can deal with different price upgrades. There's a whole bunch of different features here. So I've now gone to the admin interface. Stuff that you can do here, you can set different start and end times for price increases. So all of that can be pre-configured, which is pretty cool. Then what we can do is we can create different registration forms, for example, with the branding. We've got a bunch of cool stuff here with coupons. What is quite interesting with coupons is that there is so much more than just a straightforward a 50% discount, right? So for example, the one that I used earlier is a Event Tech World Demo one, is a bundle coupon. So what you can do is you can set a 3-person bundle. So this is 3 tickets for a predetermined price. And so that's a really interesting way to be able to use coupons in a different way. So let's say you might have 1 ticket that is a certain price, but then you could say, oh, if you buy 5 tickets, you'll get a bundle discount. And so this bundle discounting is proven to work really well to increase ticket sales. We've also got very deep out-of-the-box integration with Google Analytics. We've worked together with Tag Digital, which some of you might know, to optimize our registration experience to a very high degree. So you've got all the details that you want in Google Tag Manager, and that, well, one of your marketing or kind of paid ad companies will want. All of that sits within Grip Manage. What we then have from an insights point of view, which is pretty cool, you've actually got a very powerful insights module that, beyond all the kind of standard stuff of, breakdowns by registration questions and other kind of standard insights, we are working on a kind of AI powered forecasting engine. So we're actually projecting registrations up to 4 weeks out based on the historic registration trend. Now, this, of course, my demo event, so it looks a bit strange, but we're actually seeing pretty good results on this. And we're using quite some AI to predict what that registration flow will look like. And if you use the platform for multiple years or multiple events, we start personalizing these forecasts. And over time, we hope to kind of further take away that anxiety that many organizers have, where they're sitting there 3 weeks before an event and they have no idea whether they're going to be hitting their numbers. We try and help you kind of figure that out by providing you with forecasts of how we expect your registration to increase over the coming period. Regarding Vanessa's question, what's your unique identifier for guest groups? Is it email required, or could it be auto-assigned for kids? Currently, it is email. So we do expect like a unique email address for every single registration. So yeah, that is something that we require at the moment. Again, I think if you're doing B2C events, Grip Manage is probably not the right solution. Grip Manage is focused on B2B events, confexes, conferences, trade shows. That's really what we're very focused on. If it's a B2C show, probably Grip Manage is not the right fit. And sorry, I'm being very blunt and direct. You're looking at 4 reg companies. I just want to be the perfect fit for some of you. I don't need to be an okay fit for all of you. Then the last kind of cool thing that I want to show you is hosted submissions. So what you can do in here is create these different submission flows. What this enables you to do is kind of split registration into multiple steps. So you could, for example, if you have VIPs, you might want to take in these VIPs in a submission form, as you can see here. And based on the questions that you're asking them, you might want to be able to control what you do with them. So you want to be able to approve them, reject them. You might want to send a comment to a colleague, like, I'm not sure about this Tim guy, right? Now you might want to play around with this and bat it back and forth a bit to see if this person is really the right fit for your event. And then eventually you might say, okay, yes, now I'm going to approve this person. And then what it will do is we'll actually automatically create a registration for this person, send them an email saying, hey, yes, you've now been accepted. Please go here to further complete your registration. So yeah, that's our submission flow, which I think is a kind of cool way of thinking about these VIPs and how you bring them onto your event. How much time do I have left?
You have 2 minutes.
Okay. Are there any more questions that I should answer?
No, you have covered the question that's come in so far.
Perfect. All right. Then we'll just look at one other big pain point for many of you that have exhibitors and sponsors. Will have had to deal with the registering of staff passes. Now, Grip Manage has a dedicated company portal for sponsors and exhibitors where they have a complete task list of all the things they should be doing within their events, including the assigning of staff and client passes. What they can do in here, as you can see, you can go ahead and assign those passes, and you can do that in here. They will then automatically show up as representatives of the company inside the event app, but you can also use it for client passes. So if, for example, somebody has purchased 10 client passes, they can be auto-assigned in here. All of this functionality in terms of pass assignments and all the other things that can be purchased are fully managed by you as an organizer. And so you can easily customize that per company, go to products, and figure out how many staff and client passes will be assigned to that particular company. And then you can easily keep track of that with the task manager, seeing exactly how many have assigned their passes already and how many still need to do that pass assignment, right? So all of that you can see in here. How far along are they, and what's the progress on that? So yeah, all of that is also a valuable part of registration so that everyone can seamlessly enter your event.
Great job, Tim. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. You are released back in to the quietness, and I'm going to invite Eleanor from Canopy to turn on her camera and her audio. And as I said, last but definitely by no means least, you've had a few cues from some of the questions that have come through already, so that's the benefit. And over to you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, and thanks Tim, Lorraine, and Lee for your demos as well. They were super. So, hi everyone. I'm Eleanor from Canopy. Like Vanessa said, I'm one of our co-founders, and like much of what you've seen today, I think we live and breathe tech here at Canopy, and get very excited about product developments and the fact that we can support kind of the end-to-end event offering of what we can do. So I'm going to share my screen. And just go straight into a demo and show you Canopy. So Canopy is an end-to-end.
Hang on 1 minute. Okay, it's cool. It's come up. It took a while to load. I just wanted to make sure.
Fab. Okay, thanks, Vanessa. So Canopy is end-to-end event management. So we can support with sending out comms, sending out save the date, sending out registration processes, and then kind of your management for during the events, whether that be managing an agenda, managing a speaker experience, polling, Q&A, everything that you kind of do when you're at an event can be handled by Canopy, and then also post-event with surveying and reporting as well. And we support events that have thousands of people, and we support events that have 10 people. So there really is a very, very wide variety of the kinds of events that we support at Canopy. And the idea is that with anything that you do, any way that you work with us, you have access to the full suite of the Canopy product. So we want you to use as much as possible within the product and make it as valuable for not only your attendees, but also for you as organisers, and to kind of help ensure that things are in one place, because it's sometimes incredibly frustrating when you're organising and things are left, right and centre all over the place. So ideally, we would love for you to have all of your management here so that it makes things easier for you from a reporting and the management standpoint. So just to give a very, very brief intro of the product, we've got two sides that you're going to see today of the Canopy coin, if you like. You've got the first side, which we call the console. This is our back-end management system, and this is really where you build and manage your events from. And then you have the other side of the product, which is the front-end interface. And this is just an example, but the front-end interface is what your attendees would see. And the front-end interface is the registration experience. It's the web and mobile app once you've registered. And everything that you see here and that I'll show you today can be customized to kind of suit your brand and its identity. Is really important to us that not only does the product reflect kind of what you're trying to achieve with the event, so from a feature standpoint, but also from a look and feel standpoint, it feels very in line with what you want to do as well. So the way that our registration process works is that it is a ticket style system. So you have the ability to create multiple tickets, multiple different price points, and you can, within those tickets, set up lots of different rules. So you could say, okay, this is a group registration, so I want somebody to be able to register multiple people within their organization, or this is a proxy registration, so I want, for example, EAs to be able to manage their execs registrations, or I want parents to be able to manage their children's registration. So you build your registration for somebody else. But I think the most standard approach that we find is that people are registering a single person for themselves. But it's really up to you as the organizer how you want to set things up. For us, registration is the most critical part of the whole product, because everything that you do in registration here is going to define what the attendee sees and experiences within their own event experience. So any question that you ask in registration, any kind of logic that you set up in registration can then be used to personalize the experience later down the line. So, for example, if you asked in registration, what topics are you most interested in hearing about? It might be that in the event agenda, you are showing people who are interested in sustainability recommended sustainability content, or you're showing VIPs a VIP dinner that happens on night one. So we want all of the logic that you're building in registration to help make that experience personalized later down the line, but also make it easier for you to kind of segment content and segment experience as an organizer as well. When you are building out registration, you can choose if you want it to be a paid for ticket, a free ticket. You can choose if you want there to be a limit on the number of people that can register on that ticket. And you can choose the appearance as well, whether you want it to be light or dark, and then that obviously impacts the kind of branding that you do use. And you can also choose to close registration at certain times. You can open it at certain times. And then you have the option as well to add discount codes. Those discount codes, just because we got a question on it earlier, those discount codes can be percentage driven or fixed price driven. It's kind of up to you again how you want to handle that. And you can also choose for there to be a time limit on those as well. We found that we've worked with quite a few organisers where they want people to register by a certain date because they've also got to hit a number within their quarter. And so they say, okay, you've got an early bird registration fee if you register before the 31st of December. And so that kind of approach you can build into the way that you are managing your registration. In our attribute section, this is where you can add your custom attributes. So we don't have a limit on the number of questions that you can ask here. Instead, it's really about how you want to set them up. So do you want them to be conditional? Do you want them to be multiple choice? Do you want them to be a date field, a photo field? Do you want them to be required, or you can skip through them? And again, the data that you collect here can then be used as filters within the registration page later on. And I'm just going to share a different screen. I'll just share an example of what a registration page actually looks like, just as I'm walking through. So this is an example of a light mode registration with very kind of simple branding in place. I've got a few questions here that you can just see kind of how it works. You can skip through different sections. And again, this is all custom. So you can put in as many different questions as you want. And if you know from the get-go that, for example, you're going to be using our session selector feature, then you can include the session selector within registration. Or if you know that you're going to be using the flights and hotel feature, you can build that into registration as well. So it's all kind of linked within an attendee profile. Our undoubtedly most popular element within the whole product, but also with registration, is our translation feature. So Canopy's full product can be translated in up to 72 languages. And it's instant, and it's really designed to I'm going to change back to English so I know what I'm doing. It's really designed for the organizer to choose which languages they want. So you can either have an option where you have all 72 languages available for attendees to pick from, or you can say, actually, I want people to be able to pick from these 4 languages, and I want them to be flags, or I want them to be written text. And the idea with that is that can actually predefine an attendee's language from the get-go. So if they choose that they want to have their registration in Spanish, then their registration system and process will be in Spanish, but also so will their mobile app, so will their web platform, so will the landing page. So kind of all of the different elements that we have within Canopy will reflect that. And that's AI driven. So it's incredible how it's also improving all the time. So I'm going to just register for this event just so you can kind of see what the confirmation page looks like, and that can take you straight through to that home page that I was showing you earlier, or it can you can have registration as a standalone because you're not ready to show any other information yet. So it's completely up to you. And I think, like Lee showed you at the beginning, it's nice that you can kind of add different elements to this. So if you want people to be able to share on social media, if you want people to be able to download calendars, then you can do that as well. It's really up to you how much you include here, and how visible you want those elements to be. One other element that I will also show you is a different kind of way of approaching registration that we have within the product. So we also have our RSVP feature. And the way that our RSVP feature works is that if you are not necessarily wanting to run an event where you need people to have access to a mobile app and you need people to have access to the kind of full suite of product, because you're running a dinner or you're running a workshop, or you don't want to complicate things, then you could do an RSVP form. And the RSVP form is designed to be very, very simple. Yes, I'll attend. No, I can't attend. You can collect a few other pieces of info as well. But that all feeds through as data within the console as well. So you've got kind of live access to all of that information. You can treat it like an attendee list if you like, but it's really designed to be very quick, very simple, because you just want to capture RSVPs as quickly as possible. You're not necessarily looking for engaged event registrations. And we also have the option, I know you come on video, Vanessa, so I'm wrapping up. We also have the option to, within an event agenda, to have RSVPs to specific sessions. And I mentioned that because we've seen a real trend in the last 6 months of companies building communities where they ask people to register once and they are registered for a community, and then they come back again and again to attend different sessions, similar to what you're doing, Vanessa, where you're building a community and people are coming in again and again, and that kind of feeds into how that works.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to remember that my face popping up
Panic.
makes people change. But you've got 4 open questions, which is why I wanted to hop in.
Super.
So
Okay.
first one is, can you clarify the registration process that is typically used with invoicing rather than a credit card payment?
Yes. So we have both options with we can do credit card payment through Stripe, but we do also have invoicing as well. And we have within the console, I'll share my screen again quickly just so you can see. We have within the console the ability for you to personalize what those invoices look like within a ticket. So let me go down here to invoice. So you can choose, this is an example for this ticket. So you could choose what information is available within the invoice, and that invoice can be auto sent to attendees as part of the registration process.
Thank you. Fabulous. Next one is, I understand that you translate the UI experience on the fly, but do you translate the session content as well, or do you request the client to provide the necessary translations for the content?
No, we can translate the session content as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's also Maddie's question as well, which is, do you do it, or do they need to upload translations in the back end? So I will skip over that one actually. Now, last one. What support do each of the teams have for onboarding and customer success, and in which regions? So I think onboarding support and how that varies regionally, I think, is how I interpret that one.
Yeah, of course. So within any package that we have 3 packages at Canopy, and that's driven by number of attendees that you want to attend your events. There is onboarding and training time included as the standard in any package. And the idea is that you get access to a named person from Canopy and they kind of help you build your event. Our team are global. We're in every time zone. And based on really where you and your team are is where your event support will be based, not necessarily where your event is. And of course, access to knowledge base, access to help videos, all of the usual. But I think it's usually you want a person to ask questions to.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I think that brings us to the close for today. So thank you all so much for joining Event Tech World's digital demo drop-in on Modern Reg. Thank you to Lee, Loreen, Tim and Eleanor for sharing great insights. If anything's caught your eye today and you want to explore a tool in more depth, please do reach out to our demo leaders. All their contact details are in the chat. And please let them know that you saw them at the Event Tech World digital demo drop-in. They're all been very generous with their knowledge and they are the best people to help you with any follow-up questions that you might have. At Event Tech World, we're going to be running many more of these digital demo sessions next year, diving into different sorts of tools and different sorts of trends that are shaping event tech today. We will be working with partners to do this and trying to bring really great tools to you so that you know more and you can be more competent and confident with event tech. We're also going to be doing loads more meetups in person next year, and the next one is on the 28th of January. It's for exhibition and conference leaders, and it's all around increasing your sponsorship revenues and tech that can help you do that. It'll be in central London. If you want to join, get in touch. My email's in the chat, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here today. And thank you so much all for joining. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and all of those wonderful festive things that are coming up, and see you all online very soon. Thanks all. Signing off.